No, this is incredible. Yeah. How can I help you?
No, just that we find the volume, which I assume if you're the one talking, it won't be much of a difference. Here's the cordless, the handheld.
Okay.
Just has to be turned on at the bottom.
Perfect. And that's good all around.
I would assume so. I've never tested.
That sounds great.
We can test it, John. Hello, hello. Do you sing? Do you sing?
Do I sing? Mary had a little lamb, maybe.
Okay, well, it works here. Hello? Yep. I assume it was designed to work all over, so if you want to use it, just turn the bottom button on.
The online volume event is good.
Is it? Okay.
If you can check the other one.
This one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's okay. That's as high as I can go.
I really appreciate that. Well, at this point, looking at the clock, I'd like to be respectful of everybody's time. Good evening and welcome to the Rhubarb Festival's volunteer kickoff meeting. This is the first of a three-part series in which we'll be going over some of the details of the largest event that CHUM puts together. Good evening, my name is Bud Trinka. I'm a member of CHUM's Mission Advancement Team. I have the great honor and privilege of being the event director this year, and it's a great privilege to be with you all tonight. Those of you that are in person, and if you're watching this later, thank you for taking the time to express your interest in helping us out. The Rhubarb Festival is experiencing its 20th festival this year, and none of this happens without the beloved labor of volunteers. So thank you for expressing interest. We do hope that you'll find a job that speaks to you so that we can see you and celebrate with you June 28th here at Asbury United Methodist Church in Duluth. After 19 Rhubarb festivals of Duluth being held in the east part of Duluth, a needed change happened, and CHUM had to find a new place for the Rhubarb Festival. After examining the geography of Duluth, weighing pros and cons for things like transportation, kitchen spaces, and where we could sprawl out some fun festivities, Asbury United Methodist Church quickly rose to the top, for good reason. It has a wonderful, beautiful parking lot, nearly 500 feet from one side of its property to another and 300 feet deep. A beautiful sanctuary space, a hospitable congregation, and a wonderful staff. So let me also begin this meeting by expressing my deep sense of gratitude for Asbury United Methodist Church for stepping up and hosting this event. Thank you. I'd also like to thank decades of volunteer experience. This, again, 20 years means that we have probably 20,000 hours of volunteers that have gone into the history of this event. So for those of you that are joining us again, our deep and most profound thanks. In 2025, we have a unique opportunity. Rhubarb Fest is headed west. But again, we're celebrating a 20th year milestone. And just a little bit of fun trivia on that one. If we look at what numbers can sometimes signify, the number 20 can be a unifying or diplomatic number. And if we take a quick temperature check of the services in which CHUM provides, I think that adds power to our annual event here. We need a little bit of unity in our space right now. And it's a great privilege to do that from a fun-growing vegetable called rhubarb. What I would like to do tonight is go over some of the drier aspects of the volunteer meeting, volunteer requirements, which quite literally will be me reading kind of a list of what's happening to allow you to listen, think about how your skills and expertise may play a role, and then following that list, decide to take action and help us out in one capacity or another, even if it's just participating on June 28th. So to begin, I'd like to say that the CHUM Rhubarb Festival is an annual free community celebration of rhubarb featuring food, entertainment, community engagement, which includes activities for all ages, local partnerships, and volunteer opportunities that bring neighbors together to celebrate and support the community. Building awareness of CHUM programs and inviting community support is the most important part of the Rhubarb Festival. This is primarily achieved through pie sales, the Rhubarb Coffee Shop, merchandise sales, and other giving opportunities, including a bucket raffle, which will be happening right here in this very room. Attendees will have an opportunity to give directly to CHUM through cash, check, or card donations. And this fundraising effort is critical for supporting CHUM's mission and ensuring ongoing community assistance programs that are just so important. This event aims to promote local growing techniques and raise funds for needed programs and expansion projects. Highlights include live music, food vendors specializing in rhubarb-based dishes and family-friendly activities and local other wares. In order to get this event off the ground, we'll need to do major harvesting efforts, pre-cooking meals or pre-chopping ingredients for a massive baking process. Our CHUM staff has been busily at work ensuring the appropriate civic engagement pieces are well in place, including safe traffic plans, city permits, and following good safe food guidelines. Let me run through a little bit more about what we're going to be using for volunteer roles here. Now, this is going to be specific to Saturday, June 28th. These are the things that are going to be happening between the hours of 6 a.m. and hopefully no later than 8 p.m., and I'd love it to be earlier. We'll talk more about that timeline as we go. Following that day-specific volunteer lists, I'm going to actually move the timeline back towards today. After that point, I'd love to invite your questions and have some increased dialogue about this great festival. So in a list view of the CHUM Rhubarb Festival volunteer roles, we have the following. We will have rhubarb harvesting and baking that assists in collecting rhubarb and baking pies before the event. This will be done by Judy Gibbs, a rhubarb wrangler. Be on the lookout. We're looking for baking leads done through congregations. We have needs for setup and logistics. These arrange tables, chairs, help with signage, and vendor areas before this festival begins on Saturday. We'll have a need for some grilling, which includes parboiling bratwursts made by Old World Meats and preparing them for the coffee shop on that Saturday. We'll need some help with vendor and partner support. These are going to be volunteers that assist our corporate sponsors or agency programs, making sure that they have everything that they need within their program space. This year, we're going to have a green team present. We are going to be working towards not only rubbish removal and recycling, but we're going to be adding in the component of compost. An additional component to this year is that we are going to be weighing all of the waste that leaves this site in an effort to bring the Rhubarb Festival towards a zero waste event. We don't expect that for this year, but we need measurements in order to start. So that green team will be particularly useful for those efforts. Other volunteer opportunities include safety and pedestrian support. If you've traveled here today, or if you're familiar with Duluth and Grand Avenue, you'll know that it is a very used county road. There's 4 lanes of traffic, 2 heading in each direction, and we're expecting an event population of 3,000 to 4,000 people. These include people of all ages, all abilities, differing times of crossing intersections, and if people come to this event, they need to leave this event, and this pedestrian and safety team will be a crucial part of that. On that note, not to sound alarmist, let me give you just a brief safety update on that. Between I-35 and our off-site parking site, the Grand Avenue Chalet, there are 3 controlled stoplights. There are 4 pedestrian-assisted blinking lights. And then there are 2 key avenues that happen just on either side of the Asbury Church. This is the area that we'll be looking for most. We've got support from the Duluth Police Department and equipment like safety vests and crossing guard flags. So we can have the assurance that you will be safe, helping other people stay safe. Moving forward, other volunteer needs include entertainment and stage management. These volunteers will support performers, manage schedules, and ensure a smooth transition between acts. We'll have raffle ticket sales. We're currently collecting a bunch of amazing baskets to be put into a basket raffle from which participants of this event, including you, will be able to bid on these amazing items. So we'll need people right here in this room to help us out with that. We'll need folks interested with direct donation capturing. These people would be working through the crowd, processing cash, check, or card donations that are directed towards Chum. We also will have a great deal of family-friendly activities. So we'll be looking for folks that can help oversee kids' crafts, workshops, games, entertainments, whatever fun happens our way. And then most critically, we'll be looking for folks to help us with the cleanup crew. These people will be responsible for post-event site cleaning and returning materials to our warehouse space or any rented materials, and turning this place, this beautiful grounds, not only within the sanctuary, but the campus around it, exactly how it was. Ideally, no later than 8 p.m. the event day, so that the congregants can come back to their church that next Sunday morning and worship almost as though nothing has happened except a joyful experience. Each volunteer can expect an event t-shirt, proper identification, a voucher for a meal, and of course a frontline view for an incredible experience. Here's a little look at the timeline, just to put things into perspective. Over this next month, the last parts of May and moving into June, the Chum team is going to be working on finalizing some vendors, so that vendor support team will be well in place. We're actively working on the entertainment sides of things and putting in some of the finishing details of the logistics and support of this event, which means that the rest of our time is going to be dedicated to the most important component, the people. So on those of you that are watching through the video aspect of it may not be able to tell, but tonight, the evening of our volunteer meeting, we are experiencing a little bit of weather. And the timeline for this event, this particular meeting included a chance to kind of tour some of these event sites and see the grounds themselves. We won't be able to do that at this time, so I'm going to move forward in one of the other agenda items here. Let's see, the important part of volunteer expectations. The volunteer, who is a volunteer and who are we looking for? We're looking for a reliable person that is cheerful and energetic, ideally enthusiastic about Chum and what we're doing. We are open to volunteers aged 12 and up. We can accommodate different abilities. We'll ask that you track your hours. We'll ask that you come to your shift with some awareness of what you're doing. We'll ask that you leave any personal valuables behind. There'll be a volunteer check-in area with an ability to leave light belongings behind, but please leave anything precious safely stowed at your home. Parking, I am currently working on exclusive volunteer parking, but I don't have that arranged exactly yet. Stay tuned in that regard. Currently, parking is arranged in two areas. To the east of us here, or on this side of the building, we've got a great partnership with Bethany Community Church, which has allowed us the use of their parking lot for the day. It's 75 spots. It's going to go pretty quickly. So I might encourage those of differing abilities that might need to walk shorter distances to have preferential treatment on that side. The other would be Grand Avenue Chalet, which is more to our west, which has plenty of parking for us. We will have shuttle service, but that won't begin until 9:30 that morning. So if a volunteer shift were to start before that, there's going to be a complication. There are a couple solutions. The first is that you carpool as much as you can. Arrive together in groups would be helpful. Also consider taking alternative transportation, walking, or biking if you can. There's several protected bike trails and a bike lane here on Grand Avenue. So should you decide to take action and join us for volunteering, you can do that by signing up on our website. Those of you in the audience, you can get access to that by a piece of paper with a QR code on that. If you've got a smartphone, you can open up your camera, scan that QR code, and it will take you to our volunteer page. At this time, I want to talk a little bit about how to navigate that page. I unfortunately don't have the ability to broadcast a display for you, so I'm going to do my best to paint a word picture with what is happening on our website. After several hours and a couple of intense meetings, we have our full volunteer list live and on our site. If you've worked events before, having this up more than a few weeks ahead of the event is great. So I would like to express my deep and profound gratitude for my team to help get this up and live for you. ChumDuluth.org will bring you to an opportunity to go to a volunteer page for the Chum Rhubarb Festival. At that webpage, you are going to have a listing of all of the jobs, several of which I have listed here before. In this web design, I'm going to acknowledge a complication. One of the biggest problems that we're having right now with the website is a website design flaw. Under the listings of these jobs, you'll need to select a small button, which is just to the left of these jobs, in order to advance the screen to express your interest. So the word picture for that, if you find yourself on the volunteer website portal, is to scroll through to find a job that you would like to know more about, and then delicately navigate midway through that word line just to the left. There's a small circular button that needs to be selected, and then you can move forward. And in a new addition to this year's sign-up sheet, it includes that you can sign up for yourself, or you can volunteer a whole bunch of people to join you. This is ideal for church youth groups or large gatherings of folks that are looking to volunteer for the Rhubarb Festival. Corporate volunteers would be amazing. After you've selected your job, you'll highlight, I am signing up for one person, or I'm signing up for a group of 2+. After that, you'll have an opportunity to see the shifts that are available. Oftentimes, most of the shifts will be 4 hours. Some are 4 hours and 15 minutes, and my friends, we're doing that so that one shift can spend 15 minutes training the next shift to go for a seamless transition. Once you've selected your shift, you can then fill out your personal information: first name, last name, email, phone number, the size of a t-shirt that you'd like, and any opportunity to provide us some notes. The contact information is important. We'll be sending out not only reminders of your shift, but any pre-event important notifications. And today is probably a good one, if there's any inclement weather that's happening. A note on weather: as we've been designing this event, we have kept inclement weather in mind. An attribute and an asset to Asbury United Methodist is that it allows for this event to happen with pretty much every weather that can be thrown at us. Now, after you've filled out that contact information, you'll have an opportunity to complete the form. You should have a confirmation email sent to that email address that you've supplied us with, and then all you need to do is wait in your email inbox for more communication from our team. So those are the jobs for Saturday, June 28th. I'll also mention, if you know of a time that you're available, you can also filter search by shift. So you can, if you're not exactly certain what you want to do, but you know what time of day you're interested in volunteering, you can search by shift, and that will pop up. Anything that happens before June 28th, June 27th up to today, it includes rhubarb harvesting. It includes Rhubarb Festival planning if you're part of that. It includes part of the Rhubarb Festival baking or cleaning up opportunities. Happen through a little tab called Ad Hoc or Unscheduled Jobs. This is a feature that we've left kind of intentionally vague, realizing that if we put in every single duty that is involved with the Rhubarb Festival, this webpage would be tremendous. And this really is a compliment to the volunteer efforts of this festival. So once again, our profound gratitude for all of the work that happens. We also have listed on the far right side of our website a copy of our volunteer handbook. This is a dense bit of information. This is a total list of everything that's happening in the festival that you would need to know. The idea behind providing you with so much information is to provide a knowledgeable volunteer. We find that a knowledgeable volunteer is a powerful volunteer, one that can make quick decisions, help us in the event of backups, what we call being in the weeds, perhaps. If you've got the ability as a volunteer to seek the information that you need yourself, we feel that that will make for a stronger event. And this volunteer handbook is where that information lives. So that means that you've got an opportunity to find as much information as you can through the website, through this volunteer book, and hopefully we've been able to spark some curiosity for you as we're talking about this Rhubarb Fest. At this point, I'd love to hear more of your questions, those of you that are in the audience. And as we're streaming this, recording it, and distributing it later, ask that you speak into a microphone if you've got those questions. So, do we have any here? Yes. Okay, all right. I'll be right there.
I'll just point out.
All right, we won't hear it.
This is State Highway 23, which is also under the direction of the State Highway Patrol. They come by here once a month to check on it, see if it's still here. But anyway, when you mention a county street or city, it's also, you can get involved with the State Patrol because it's their highway. And just because I've dealt with them being somebody representing this church, I've dealt with them.
So part of the permitting process involves several calls to Duluth City Clerk and emergency dispatch systems. We recently made early notice to local EMS that this event was happening. That's a very important component of any event. They have directed us to the Duluth jurisdiction, but will alert local deputies as this event is happening.
I can just envision cars parked on both in this right lane and both sides of the road, just like when the events take place at the zoo and it gets out of control.
So the comment was about traffic, parking, and making sure that things stay coordinated. And I echo those concerns. That's right. My colleagues would probably support me when I say that that's what I talk about most in the office, is what's going to happen with traffic. Here's the honest answer to that. We have a plan for off-site parking, both at this neighboring church here and at Spirit Mountain down the street. But knowing populations, they're not always going to be following directions, and I do expect that people will be parking on the residential side of Grand Avenue. The truth is, I can't do much about that. We do have a plan for the neighbors that are watching this or listening here in the neighborhood, a notice to you before the event. We'll make all accommodations to keep your driveways clear, your sidewalks clean as best we can. Other aspects of that, there will be event signage from a traffic control company called Warning Lights, which will have caution event in progress. We cannot close Grand Avenue, as you mentioned. It's a big one, too large for us to close. But to the safety concern of that, we'll be able to use safety cones at the 10-foot mark throughout Grand Avenue, particularly 67th Avenue West, 69th Avenue West, or Waseca. One of those will be a place for kind of a pedestrian buffer zone.
fan code, how do you find the sign-up information? So previously I would have Googled Chum, sign up for a volunteer at the Rhubarb Festival, but now it doesn't have a link. So how would somebody who doesn't have the code find that sign up?
All right, thank you for the question. So chumduluth.org is the parenting website for that. At the top of that website to the far right is a tab called More. That's a drop-down menu. The first thing that's on there is a 2025 Rhubarb Festival. It's an informational splash page. It sets the address here at Asbury, the date and time, and then there's a nice green button that says Volunteer Portal. Volunteer here.
Is that how you find the handbook also?
Yes, it's through that volunteer portal. Again, kind of using a website page. There's a volunteer, it's called Volunteer Info, or there's a bright rhubarb icon, also called the Volunteer Handbook. And so we've tried to provide a bunch of information to you.
I've got a procedure coming up on June 16. So to find an activity, and I don't know what my rehab is going to be after. So I think you said to go to the website, find the ad hoc thing, and I can find events, stuff that I can do before that date, such as wrangling, rhubarb wrangling, that kind of thing. Okay.
Hold on, do you mind repeating?
I coordinate the baking at the churches, and there would be some things to do before then, but a lot with rhubarb. Pardon me, I know Judy does the rhubarb. I coordinate the churches that do the baking along with NERC that bakes. So we get them all of their ingredients and their paper products or tins and boxes and things that make the bake sale happen. So. Yes.
So I'm on your site, and you mentioned the tab where we can go to sign up for jobs the days before. Can you show me
Yeah.
exactly?
I did bring my computer here too, so that we can sign you up for it as well. Is that, we can do that perhaps just that way. I can show you that through the website. This just in, folks, the volunteer information will be on the home page too, for Chum.
So if you do it from your phone, you have to hit these three little green lines. If you do it from your phone, you hit the three little green lines once you go to the website, and then you will see the 2025 Rhubarb Festival in the list, and then you can go from there.
I really compliment the zero waste direction that the event is going. And are you guys going to have like the food composting bins here?
Yes, we will. Part of the methodology for a zero waste event is to really control where the event population disposes of their waste. So we'll actually only have 2 places in all of this campus from where you will bring your rubbish. And that's so our green team volunteers can help direct or take action to bring things to the compost bin, the recycling bin, and that which we can't into the trash. On an inventory, so we're not going to have a perfect score. This is the first time that we're doing it, and sometimes you have to learn. That's where we're at, but we've got to step up to the plate and try. And thank you for bringing that forward. That is some feedback that we've gotten from post-event surveys. So before this event happens, let's just do a little pre-sale here. June 30th, you may be able to expect a survey from Chum about how we did, how we have done.
Is the 6 to 10 shift for cookie or setting up for cookie, is that different than last year?
So the question is is a 6 a.m. start for cooking, different than last year. I think that's pretty historically close to what's happened. There's a fair amount that happens the day of within that kitchen to get things ready to go. So 6 is, I think, pretty on par with what's happened in the past. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so be kind to the hosts. Most of the production, Brenda, you want to take that one? When the cooking schedule?
So the things that we'll be cooking that day will be grilling rhubarb brats, and they will be pre-cooked ahead of time, or parboiled, and then they'll just be grilled. We'll also hopefully have hot dogs, and then they will be warming up things for the coffee shop. So they warm up pies, rhubarb crisps. We also will send out, we'll have some coffee cakes, some scones, some dump cakes that get cut up and sent out. And there'll be runners taking that food out from the kitchen out to the coffee shop area. But the cooking will just be the parboiling of the brats, hopefully the day before, and then those will be grilled. So it's the grilling is the biggest cooking job. There will be ice cream to go with the goodies as well. So, yep.
Crisp and all that stuff.
With the crisp and the pies. And then there will be the brats, the hot dogs, and burritos. I forgot the burritos, yes. And that's the vegetarian option, also gluten-free because they're corn tortillas. And First Lutheran makes a rhubarb sauce for the brats, and they make the rhubarb salsa for the burritos. No. we have not.
A nod to the churches, though. So this is a pretty active volunteer recruitment piece. This is one that's open to making this event happen. There is a volunteer component that can be kind of hidden in this one, which is all the volunteers that do the work in the kitchens getting this ready to go. So if you're watching this later and you're a part of that crew, we just want to express our thanks.
Do you have any kind of flyers that can be scanned into religious organizations' newsletters on a weekly basis that we can have tonight?
That's a great question. So just yesterday, our outreach person, Pat Benson, sent out a mass email for all of her clergy delegates that included weekly bulletin announcements between this Sunday and the Sunday before the Rhubarb Festival. That's just a template that we sent out. It was kind of our suggestion. If those organizations want to add your own flair, you're welcome to do that. That's just kind of the CHUM official bulletin announcement. So look for an email from Pat Benson. Yes, the question is, can you extract it? Yes, we authored it in the method for copy paste. QR codes will be a part of this as well. Yeah, absolutely. We're still developing some of the more colorful aspects of the advertising. So stay tuned for that. You've got a lot to be excited about as far as the look for Rhubarb Festival this year. Other questions? For those of you that are here in the audience, you get an extra perk. Just in the back here, I have brought my computer so I can actually walk you through the event map, which shows you what it looks like. For those of you that are watching online, I'm sorry, but you'll have to look for another resource or another time for that. Stay tuned. June 10th, we're going to have another meeting. This is going to go over a little bit more in detail the logistics of how this happens. And then Thursday night, June 26th, is kind of the dress rehearsal. We're going to get everybody together. Ideally, we're going to distribute the volunteer shirts that night, so you have a day or so to wash it if you would like to. Not a requirement. So those are the next 2 dates, June 10th, June 26th, 6 to 7:30, right here at Asbury. Once again, our deep thanks and gratitude to Asbury United Methodist for having us, and thanks to all of you for taking time out of your evening to join us. Thank you.